What's up, guys? This is Matt with Tanks Lawn Maintenance. It is 12 minutes after 10 a.m. Thursday morning, October 24th, 2024, year of our Lord. And it's a beautiful morning. And everything has been going good this morning until I got to my second property. And I got cussed slap out by a lady. And I made a video about this property one time before, probably 5 or 6 weeks ago, about a month and a half ago. I made a video about it. The lady was wanting me to pull weeds in her flower beds for $25. And it's a very small bed, it's like a 15 by 25 foot bed, maybe even smaller. I haven't measured it, but regardless of the fact, this bed is full of weeds. I mean, slap full of weeds. And it's not just weeds, it's grass too. She's got her bushes growing in there. She's got little small vincas and things like that growing in there. And but there's a lot of bahia, a lot of Bermuda, and a lot of horse nettle, and a lot of other weeds, just nasty weeds growing in it. Crabgrass, Dallas grass, you name it. There's all kinds of weeds in that bed, and she's got mulch in her beds, or in that one bed, but you can't see the mulch for all the weeds. And there really is no way to pull the weeds without destroying that bed. There really isn't. I mean, she's got the perimeter of the bed has got gravel in it, the white rocks, the decorative rocks, and black mulch. Well, you can't see any of it because of the weeds. And if I try to pull the weeds up, she does have a weed barrier down. If I try to pull the weeds up, they're basically just going to break off before the roots come out of the ground, and you're really not getting anything done. But she tried to get me to pull the weeds in her beds for $25, and I explained to her whenever I first took the property on. I said, look, I don't typically pull weeds. I said, if you would rather me do that, that's fine. I said, but what I typically do is I can give you a price, and every other time I can come out and spot treat it for weeds. Just spray the stuff and it'll kill it, and eventually they'll disappear if you do it enough. And she told me, she said, no, she said, I don't want you spraying my weeds, because if you do that, you're gonna wind up killing all my plants and flowers and bushes in there too. And I didn't say anything. I just said, okay, and I just left it at that, Well, she called me about a month and a half ago, she didn't call me, she texted me about a month, and I've only been doing this yard for about 3 months now, from the time I took it on to today. I've been doing it, this is the third month. Well, she texted me about a month and a half ago wanting me to pull weeds in her flower beds, and she said, my last guy did it for $25. It's not that much. And I told her, I said, ma'am, I'm not going to say her name for the sake of her or the video, which, although I could give a rat's ass less about her after the way she just disrespected me, I don't care, but I'm still not going to do that. It's not good to do that. But she told me, she said, my last guy did it for $25, and it's really not that big of a job. And I told her, I said, ma'am, with all due respect, I'm not doing it for $25. I said, I can do it for $50. I said, but I can't pull weeds for $25. And she said, I'm in my 70s. I cannot afford to pay more than $25. And I said, ma'am, I understand. I said, but that's a lot more work than what you're thinking that's involved in it. I said, the only way that I can do this and break even is to charge $50. And I said, that is a very generous price. And I told her, I said, I charge $200 an hour to pull weeds. I said, you're not going to find another landscaper in our area that's going to do it for less than $125, $150. I said, it's not going to happen. I said, not a legitimate company. And she said, well, don't worry about it. I'll just do it myself. She said, that's a ridiculous price. And I said, okay. And I left it alone. Well, right after the storm, right after the hurricane, which was 4 weeks ago, tomorrow was 4 weeks, and she texted me and she said, I'm gonna go ahead and have you pull the weeds for $50. She said, I hurt my leg and I can't do it myself. I said, okay. I said, as soon as I can, I will. I said, but it's gonna be a few weeks before I can, because I'm tied up with cleanup. And she never responded. Well, today she asked me, I'm sorry, not today, yesterday afternoon, she texted me and she said, just curious, when are you going to do my weeds in my bed? She said, I thought you were going to do it last time. I guess she didn't see the text that I sent her, But she told me, she said, I thought you were going to do it last time, and when I went out into my yard, it wasn't done. And I thought you were going to do it last time, but I don't know, I guess you're too busy to do it. And I responded to her. I said I should have time in the next week or two to do it. I said, and she said, well, I need it done before Thanksgiving. She said, I'm having company over for Thanksgiving. I said, it'll definitely be done by then. I said, but it should be done within the next week or two. And I said, I've just got to find time to do it at the moment. And I said, even if it means I have to come over there on a Saturday and pull weeds, it's fine. It ain't no big deal. And she said, okay. And well, I texted her. I emailed her last night, along with everybody else, letting her know that I was coming today to make sure the gates were unlocked and there wasn't any obstacles in the way. And when I got over there, she saw me pull up. When I got out the truck, she said, can you grab my mail for me? I grabbed it, and she said, what are you doing here? I said, I was coming to mow your grass. She said, it doesn't need it. And I said, well, I don't know that until I come out here and check it. And I said, but you're right, it doesn't need it. I said, but I can go ahead and pull your weeds for you. I said, it'd probably take me somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour. And she said, okay, well, before you do that, I want to show you something. I said, okay. And she said, I really don't want you cutting my grass right now anyway, because I'm sick and I really don't feel like hearing the commotion out here, and plus it really just doesn't need it. She said, but I do want you to go ahead and trim up my monkey grass. And I said, I just kind of looked at her. I said, well, no disrespect. I said, but my small equipment, my 2-cycle equipment, is a lot louder than those mowers are. I said, it's gonna bother. She said, it'll be all right. I need to go ahead and get it done whenever you pull the weeds. And I said, okay. I said, well, I'll go ahead and get started on it then. She said, well, hold on, I want to show you something. And she showed me around her bushes that I had been trimming for. I've been trimming these bushes like 4 times. And she said, you've been forgetting to take care of these weeds right here around my bushes. And I looked at them, and she had some Dallas grass growing up underneath her bushes that was about that high. Probably about a foot high. I know you can't see my bottom hand, but probably about a foot high. And I told her, I said, it's not that I forgot. I said, I gave you a price for your, when I mow your grass, to mow your turf area. I said, this isn't included in your turf area. She said, that is part of the yard. I said, I understand it's part of the yard. I said, I'm not denying that. I said, but when I initially signed you up, I said you wanted a price, and I was giving you a price to take care of your weeds and the beds and everything too, and you told me you didn't want that because you didn't want me to kill the bushes. And she said, well, I don't want you to kill my bushes. And I said, well, the thing is, if I do wind up killing your bushes because of overspray, I will guarantee that. I will warranty that. I will replace them. I said, it's the right thing to do as a business owner to do that. I said, but I can guarantee you that I'm not going to kill your bushes. But regardless of the fact, you didn't include that. You didn't say you wanted that when you told me you didn't want me to worry about that when I gave you a price. I said, that's why you got such a cheap price. I said, you signed up for a service that was $130 a month, and this wasn't included. I said, if it would have been included, it would have been around $150, $160. And she said, this is part of the grass. You should know better. I just turned around. I said, listen, I said, there's no need to yell at me. And she was yelling. Like she literally yelled at me. And I said, listen, I said, there's no need to yell. I said, I'm not getting flustered out here. I'm not yelling at you. I said, I'm just simply trying to explain to you that if that's what you want, that is fine. I can adjust the price. And she said, well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. She said, that is ridiculous. She said, you shouldn't be adjusting the price to come out here and weed eat my bed for me. She said, that is part of the turf. I said, that is not part of the turf. I said, that is considered a bed. That is a plant bed or a mulch bed. I said, nobody does that. She said, well, my last guy did. I said, well, he's not doing it anymore. I said, why isn't he doing it anymore? I said, I'm not out here trying to show you up or make you look stupid or anything. I just said, I'm just trying to explain to you that I have to make a certain amount per hour to be profitable. And if I do this stuff, it's going to take more time and I'm not going to make a profit. And if that happens, I'm either going to have to go up on your price or I'm going to have to drop you and refer you to someone else. And then she started yelling at me again. At this point, I don't even remember exactly what she said when she yelled at me this time. but there were some curse words involved, and I just turned around and walked away. And she said, do I need to find another landscaper? Or no, she said, do I need to find another grass man? I said, well, if it's a grass man you're looking for, yeah, you're going to have to find somebody. I said, because I'm not a grass man. I'm a landscaper. I said, we're not grass men. We're landscapers. I said, but yeah, if that's the way you're going to talk to me, then yeah, you're going to have to find somebody else. And she told me, she said, you are an effing idiot. You know that? She said, you should be ashamed of yourself, and your mother should be ashamed of the young man that she raised. She said, this is just pure idiocracy is what this is. She said, I have never in my life heard of such shit. And I looked at her, I said, look, I said, I'm not being disrespectful to you. I'm not yelling at you, and I'm not cussing at you. I said, there's no need for you to act like this. I said, I'm walking away and just simply telling you to find another landscaper. I said, that's all I'm doing. I said, it doesn't warrant everything that you're throwing at me right now. And she said, sir, you need to turn around and walk away. I said, I'm trying to turn around and walk away. I said, but every time I turn around and walk away, you start cussing at me. I said, it's not needed. I said, you're making yourself look like a fool out here in front of all your neighbors. Guys, I don't know how y'all are, but you've got one time to disrespect me and I'm done with you. And I've been yelled at before, and I've been cussed at before, and things like that, but this right here takes the cake. I mean, she literally, before it was over, she called me everything under the sun. Everything under the sun. She told me that I was going to hell. She told me that she brought my mom into it. She said, your mom ought to be ashamed of herself for raising the young man that she did. And all I can say is, you know, if this would have happened last summer, it would have been really bad, because Mama Tank would have been with me, and Mama Tank has a very hard time biting her tongue when it comes to stuff like that. And anyway, guys, have you ever dealt with that kind of stuff before? A customer talking to you like that? And I tried as hard as I could to keep my cool and keep a cool head and just simply explain to her why things are the way they are. But I'm not doing a service for free. And if you tell me you want something, I'm giving you a price for that. And I'm also going to throw in other options that are available to you depending on what you have on your property. And if it's something you may be interested in, you can take it or leave it. But there's never been a case where somebody can tell me that they didn't know that something wasn't included. I've always been extremely clear about that. But just curious, guys, do you weed eat people's mulch beds and flower beds and stuff like that? People around here don't. And I don't know what it's like in your area, but you are not going to find a landscaper that's going to do it around here. It is not going to happen. And the only people that might do it is the $30 guy. But even most of them ain't doing it. But anyways, guys, I hope y'all are having a good day. I hope it's going better than mine is so far. And I'm going to do my best not to let this ruin my day. I don't do well with disrespect and people talking to me that way. And it's probably going to be on my mind for the rest of the day. And but either way, man, y'all have a good day. And enjoy this beautiful weather we're having, man. I hope y'all get out there and crush it. But until the next one, y'all keep cutting that grass and keep making that money. Holler at y'all. Bye.